the little horn, a disturbing prophetic event that arouses great concern. In the vision, the angel had revealed to Daniel its terrible work. He shall speak words against the Most High, shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and shall think to change the times and the law. The prophetic picture reveals a dark fresco of the most persuasive among powers, directing its attacks against God and his people. In previous studies, it has been seen as an undeniable fact that the vision concerns the development of apostasy within Christianity. All the temporal elements of the prophecy point to the papal Rome and its persecutory work carried out throughout the dark centuries of the Middle Ages against anyone considered its enemy. The accusation also concerns the words uttered by this power, which are described as blasphemous and arrogant, along with the attack on the law of God. These revealing signs allow for an irrefutable unveiling of the error committed by a church that defies the law of God in order to maintain its own preservation and order. It is an astronomical deception that will come to an end with the return of Christ. History confirms the vision. When the early church ceased to be persecuted, it obtained recognition from the Roman Empire, which saw religion as a means of political unification of the subjugated populations.
According to the terms of this edict, the empire will not be divided into four as in the past, but into two halves. You, Licinius, will have control over the east when Dia is defeated, and I will have the west. Does this meet your approval?
In principle, I would say yes.
So, as a symbol of this new political arrangement, why don't we issue a decree that establishes the extension of a policy of tolerance towards all religious faiths? Christians and non-Christians.
What does it mean?
Oltraggioso!
Il Senato di Roma non ratificherà un trattato stipulato nel nome di un Dio che non...
Silenzio! No!
Silence! Exit!
But what do you want? What game are you playing?
At your own game. Call it peace, stability, freedom of action. With this edict, every man will be free to worship the God he believes in.
Why have you become a Christian?
I believe in any God who looks favorably upon our endeavor.
Is your word that your Christian God will not be privileged over our gods?
This is not about God or the gods. This is about us. This treaty cements our alliance. It reveals to the world that we speak with one voice, a new voice, the voice of a stronger and more united empire. Licinius, in the East, there are many Christians. If you persecute them, they become stronger.
If we tolerate them, we will gain their support.
I will make you a great politician, Licinius.
This historical turning point allowed Constantine to establish Sunday as the day of rest, replacing the Christians' Sabbath. With a decree on March 7th, 321, the emperor established that the first day of the week, Sunday, known as Dies Solis, should be dedicated to rest. On the venerable day of the sun, let the magistrates and people residing in cities rest, and let all workshops be closed. Constantine's edict played a determining role in associating elements of the polytheistic religion of the Roman Empire, such as the worship of the sun and other pagan deities, with the Christian faith, which were incorporated into Christianity under different names. In order to maintain the privileges granted by the emperor, the papacy made itself available for a fusion of mythological, cultural, and doctrinal elements of paganism with Christianity. Furthermore, it exerted its authority to legitimize itself, asserting its position as the representative of God on earth. In many cases, it even declared itself to be equal to God. All the titles implying the sovereignty of Christ over the Church, which the Holy Scriptures confer upon the Son of God, are also conferred upon the Pope. The Pope is of such great dignity and excellence that he is not merely a man, but almost God and Vicar of God. Only the Pope is called the Most Holy, Divine Monarch and Supreme Emperor, the King of Kings. Whatever the Pope says is as if it proceeds from the very mouth of God. These statements, which could be seen as extravagant flatteries from the Middle Ages, actually express the belief of the Roman Catholic Church in elevating a man to the place of God. Pope Leo II stated in his encyclical on June 20th, 1894, "We hold the place of the Almighty God on this earth." The way in which the Roman Church asserts its authority corresponds to the prophetic description, "He shall speak words against the Most High." Vicar of God, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the one who holds the fullness of power. Indeed, in the Bible, these attributes indicate the absolute prerogative of God. Therefore, it represents a true appropriation of divine titles. In addition to speaking words against the Most High and afflicting the saints, the angel had added, "He shall think to change the times and the law." Of course, this refers to the law of God. This power, in addition to appropriating divine titles, would arrogate to itself the right to modify the law of God, the Ten Commandments. As observed, the observance of Sunday was established by Emperor Constantine, who used a pagan belief, Venerable Day of the Sun, to establish a Christian law. The substitution of Saturday with Sunday was embraced by the apostate clergy and sanctioned as a distinctive sign of papal power. Eusebius of Caesarea in the 4th century wrote, "All the things that we were commanded to do on the Sabbath we have transferred to the Lord's Day, Sunday, as they are more fitting for him, being that day more honorable than the Jewish Sabbath." As can be understood, if the Church had the power to change the law of God, the angel would not have denounced it as arrogance. Furthermore, there is not a single text or statement in the Bible that authorizes the sanctification of Sunday as a replacement for the Sabbath of the 4th commandment. At the Council of Trent, Archbishop Gaspar del Fosso of Reggio declared, "The Sabbath, the most glorious day in the law, has been changed to the Lord's Day." This was not done by the commandment of Christ, but by the authority of the Church. It is true that the Roman Catholic Church, in order to preserve the worship of images inherited from paganism, removed the 2nd commandment from the 10 Commandments, which prohibits the worship of images. And in order to maintain a total of 10, they divided the 10th commandment into 2. The suppression of the Sabbath and the removal of the 2nd commandment constitute a disrespectful act towards divine authority, which religious authorities claim to honor. Furthermore, it has legitimatized idolatry within the Church, which is a serious matter. The veneration of images was indeed adopted by the Council of Nicaea in 787, which definitively ruled that the worship of images could be allowed. It is permissible to offer them a salutation of reverence made of honor, not the authentic reverence of our faith, which is due only to the divine nature. This resolution established the role of images in Christian civilization. With it, images and relics were placed on the same level as the gospel. In this way, despite the fact that the worship of images is prohibited by a specific commandment of God, statues, images, and relics of the saints are offered for the worship of the faithful. The presence of images in churches does indeed show a situation that contradicts even the best intentions. Statues and images are not only worshipped, but are also surrounded by candles and lights. People prostrate themselves before them, kiss them, offer gifts, prayers, and incense. They are carried in processions with singing and the sound of music. This is not simply veneration as believed, but genuine idolatry. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees! Hypocrites, woe to you! You shut the door of heaven in front of men. You neither enter yourselves nor allow others to enter. Blind guides, you strain out a gnat but swallow a camel. Blind guides, you bow down before the minutiae of the law and trample on the heart of the law. Justice, mercy, faithfulness. You are hypocrites like whitewashed tombs, which appear beautiful on the outside, but inside are full of dead bones and decay. And to you who pride yourselves in this temple, because you have adorned it with beautiful stones, I say, God will abandon it. Not one stone will be left upon another. Your house has become a house of desolation. It is no longer the house of God, but of lizards and spiders. Serpents, brood of vipers, how can you hope to escape the wrath that awaits you? To you who drive away your own children from me, I tell you that you will see me again only on the day when you are able to cry out, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." The vision of the little horn entrusted to Daniel has been fulfilled to the letter. With it, God wanted to reveal that he knows the future and works in history to bring good even from human injustice. Each person will be able to draw from history and prophecy the conclusion suggested by the word. Come out of Babylon, my people, so that you may not become complicit in her sins. Flee, so that you may not suffer the punishment that befalls her. Her sins have piled up to heaven, and God has taken note of her wicked conduct. She said, "I am a queen on a throne. I am not a poor widow, and I will never experience mourning." That is why, in a single day, all the punishments will come upon her suddenly: deadly disease, mourning, famine, and she will be consumed by fire. For mighty is the God who has judged her.